a chip-making device manufactured by Frito Intel. The two megacorporations merged a few years back and cornered the chip market. Hey, slushy machines. These aren't the ones I need. Carl told Larry not to read this message unless something happened to him. There must be some sort of secret message contained in this note. Pass card reader's hooked up. Now I'll need to scan the pass card.
To Larry, or whoever's watching this, I'll have to assume that my first plan has failed, and I'm probably dead. The purpose of this message is a warning, and afterwards my computer will reformat, so listen up. I've enjoyed a long friendship with J. St. Gideon. We founded Gideon Enterprises together years ago, and I believe that he is a good man and has honorable intentions, regardless of how I may disagree with his philosophy. For years, he has worked on a program called Overlord, a worldwide surveillance system which would allow him ultimately to control key political figures, thereby speeding up the world peace process. This was all made possible about a year ago. A breakthrough in nanotechnology allowed us to create microscopic devices that, once implanted inside someone, would allow us to control the physiological reactions, the chemical reactions, make the person a slave to positive response. And in this way was born the STG project, sort of a Pavlovian remote control program. We recruited 7 other scientists and put them on different phases of the project so none of them would know what the entire project was about. We gave them pass cards which would allow them to transmit data to a central Overlord computer. I found out shortly thereafter that John Klaus, one of the scientists, was intending to sell out the project to the Law and Order Party. When I went to Gideon with my fears, he disregarded them. Either he knew something that I didn't, or he was simply too obsessed to listen to reason. Regardless, I took it upon myself to implement a fail-safe program into Overlord, which I called Stalemate. Now, in order to activate this Stalemate fail-safe program in the Overlord system, all 8 STG pass cards are required. I made a plan to track down the other 7 pass cards. I started with Carl Linsky's home once I'd learned that he'd committed suicide, but I was unable to find the card. The thought crossed my mind that since Carl Linsky and John Klaus were friends, that possibly Linsky staged his own death and is working with Law and Order and John Klaus. But I can't substantiate that. At this point, I'm not sure who I can trust, outside of Larry Hammond and J. St. Gideon, though I'm not sure how much J. St. Gideon will listen to me at this point. Regardless, Gideon's program, Overlord, must be deactivated. If not by me, then by whoever's watching this message.
knew it.
You knew what?
Sylvia was behind the whole thing. Oh, it all fits together now. Of course, Linsky staged his own suicide.
Okay, you've got yourself an interesting theory now. Play with it.
Well, okay. Linsky worked at the clinic, right?
Right.
And, well, there's a lot of patients there, and, maybe one was in a coma or terminally ill, and Linsky finds one that is about his same size, maybe even looks like him. And I think that's where Linsky probably gets the idea. So he dresses the patient in his clothes. He, plants the wallet, the keys, and the suicide note on him. They, dump the body in the bay, and it's recovered, and who identifies it?
Sylvia.
Please, we're finished, please. Well, did I get it? Did I figure it out?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe so.
So, well, then why don't you tell me the rest?
Actually, I'm fascinated by your story. Why don't you tell me what you'd do next?
If it were me, I would probably go to the Law and Order Party headquarters.
That's exactly where I went, because now I had Robert Knott's pass card. This time, there was no sign of our friendly night watchman, though I figured he was around somewhere. I doubted the coffee trick would work again, so I had to figure out another plan. I was lucky to get in without the guard seeing me, but I figured he was somewhere in the building. I'd be in trouble if he returned to the front desk and checked out the monitors, so I had to figure something out fast. I've never been musically inclined, but I have been known to take a stand on occasion.
Pretty smart. You saw that on Mission Impossible, didn't you?
Oh? Did they use that trick too? Why, I had no idea.
Did you have any problems setting up the photo?
Are you kidding? What do you think I am, an idiot? Rug lo mein. The Law and Order Party beach towel. They're tough on crime, downy soft on you. Odd. The ozonator seems to have a good-sized hole in it. High-security card reader. My deductive powers tell me I may need a high-security card. This must be John Klaus's little shop of horrors. Implant procedures. Question is, if they just want to kill people, why did they go through all the trouble of the implants? What's the real purpose behind using them? I think Klaus has night fever, and he knows how to show it. He sure is a popular model. I see it everywhere. Not Gideon, too. This time, Sylvia has a lot of explaining to do. I think Klaus has night fever, and he knows how to show it. Maybe Klaus moonlights as a film critic. Maybe Klaus moonlights as a film critic. Carl Linsky's name is on the printout. Klaus probably uses this to determine the exact moments his patients kick off. I'll pass on the sandwich, but a super squishy sounds pretty darn good. Chances are probably about 0 that I'll get into Klaus's computer. I'd gotten everything I needed out of Law and Order, but the odds were pretty good that the guard was waiting in the lobby. I had to figure out a way to get him away from the front desk without letting him know I was in the building. Well, heaven help us if dogs ever get the vote. I wonder what the Law and Order Party platform says about hobbits. This painting gives me a warm fuzzy. After my narrow escape from Law and Order, I went home and crashed, but I slept like hell. Slade was still out there, undoubtedly looking for me, and I had nightmares about John Klaus, the mad scientist, turning everyone into zombies. When I woke up the next day, I had no idea what was going to happen. Little did I know, later that day, I'd find out the identity of the poisoned pawn. Sounds like I've got a message on the vid phone.
I have a message for you. You'll probably think it's important. You can pick it up at my shop whenever you get the time to see me. Ciao for now.
Like I've got a message on the vid phone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Murphy. I just wanted to call and thank you for bringing me the disc from Robert Knott. It has everything we need to take down the Law and Order party. The evidence is overwhelming. I owe you a big favor. Within reason, of course. Thank you again.
Sheesh, Jorge, you're not still playing the same game, are you?
So, you got my message.
Yeah, I did.
I was contacted on the internet by the poisoned pawn you asked me about. He sent an email for you.
For me?
It's over there on that computer.
Thanks.
There was no return address.
That's all right. Well, everything about the message seemed legit. It was from the poisoned pawn, came through Valdez. It referred to things from Wanda Peck's anonymous letter. But my intuition meter was on the fritz. Was I being set up? Or was I about to meet the man behind the curtain? If so, who was it? J. St. Gideon? One of the supposedly dead scientists? Carl Linsky back from the grave? I waited till midnight and went to the rendezvous point. My instincts told me to beware of a trap, so I found a back door and went in that way. The place appeared to be empty, but I still needed to check out the clock tower. As it turned out, though, I had to search the ground floor first, and search pretty thoroughly before doing anything else. The boxes are all in various stages of dry rot. A rock. I wonder if there's a hard place nearby. Old toolboxes? Well, they're like Christmas presents for an amateur handyman like myself. Old toolboxes? Well, they're like Christmas presents for an amateur handyman like myself. Oh, a penknife. Perfect for cutting pens. Nothing happened. There must be some other power switch in here somewhere.
Shame to cover such a beautiful mouth. Don't you think so, Mr. Murphy? It was necessary, of course. You see, I couldn't have Dulcinea warning off her knight errant from charging the windmill.
I was wondering when you'd crawl out of that rat's nest.
Contraire, Senor Quixote. It is you who are the rat. And you, my dear, the perfect piece of cheese.
Who's the poison pawn? Is it you? Is it Sylvia here?
Sylvia? The poison pawn? It was Miss Linsky's father who wrote the anonymous letter to Capricorn. We found copies of it while we were going through his papers after his unfortunate death.
So why'd you have to trick me into coming here?
I brought you here to offer you a trade. You tell me what you know, and I let the little missy free. So, let's begin with the STG pass cards. Where are they?
The best of my recollection there, somewhere on the Spanish High Plains with my trusted servant Sancho. I've got him with me.
Excellent. Now, in 30 words or less, tell me everything you know about the STG project.
Not too much. I mean, I've heard implants, mind control, satellite tracking. Oh, and then there was that little experiment you pulled on me.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out quite as we had planned. You were supposed to be a good little detective and die, like Mr. Linsky.
I mean, Linsky was your friend. I'd hate to see what you do to your enemies.
Well, you're about to find out. Now, for the sake of Miss Linsky here, tell me what else you found out about.
Well, there's someone running around with the name Overlord. He seems to be running things. You know, I think that's you.
Excellent! Excellent! Now, as a token of my appreciation, one last kiss.
Why'd you tell him he's never gonna let me go?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Murphy. It looks like she's not in the mood. For once! Well, let's just move on to the murder-suicide portion of the program, shall we?
You said you'd let her go. We made a deal.
Oh, Mr. Murphy, please. Don't compound your gullibility with your stupidity. I mean, she's more of a threat to me than you are. The mere fact that she's been intimate with several of my enemies, not to mention a handful of my allies, makes her a real threat.
You're a liar! Don't listen to him, Tex. I've never had anything to do with Klaus or any of it. I swear it.
Well, I didn't say you were involved. But I do realize you have the capacity for treachery. I mean, for all I know, you may be as innocent as you claim to be. I'm just not a risk taker. Oh, don't look so sad, Tex. At least you know that you were the last, I mean, perhaps she even cared for you. As much as he's capable. Well, down to business. Mr. Slade? Mr. Slade? I leave the necessary unpleasantries in your capable hands.
My pleasure, Mr. Klaus.
was close. I was beginning to wonder how we were gonna get out of this.
Don't stop wondering on my account. See, the way I got it figured, once I get all those pass cards, someone will pay top dollar to get them back. I was just taking out the middleman.
If you take a personal check, I'd be happy to put in my bid.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I don't think you're in the right tax bracket. I was thinking more along the lines of, say, Jason Gideon. So, who wants to go first?
I will. But I wonder if you'd consider granting me a last request.
I suppose. As long as it's reasonable.
Could I kiss Sylvia goodbye? At least that way, I could die a happy man.
Well, I wouldn't want you to die unhappy. Go ahead. But don't do anything stupid.
I'm gonna find a way to get us out of this, okay?
Oh, that was very touching. Now let's get down to business. So who's first?
You know, Slade, any little girl looks tough with a gun. Why don't you pretend you're a real man? Let you and I go mano a mano, huh?
I'll give you one thing, you've got guts. All right. I'll make an exception this one time. No honor among thieves, eh, Murphy? Why don't you just come out first? Make things easy on yourself. If you don't, I might just kill your girlfriend first. You can't hide forever. I'll get you sooner or later. Soon is better for me.
Okay, Slade, I give up. I'm not gonna get out of this situation alive anyway. I do have a proposition for you.
For some reason, you don't seem to understand. I don't need to make a deal with you.
You want to blackmail Gideon, don't you? To do that, you're gonna need all 8 STG pass cards. I know where you can get 7 of them.
What sort of a bloody drongo do you think I am?
Here's the STG pass card that Sonny stole from you. You let Sylvia and me go, I'll get you the other 6. Oops. Tell me something. Why do they call you Big Jim Slade?
Well?
Yeah, that clarifies.
Well, if that didn't, these will. Ow, that wasn't too fair.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
That's too bad. You know, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you are good. You are very, very good. You give lessons?
Well, yeah. Matter of fact, this one's on me. Oh, look. Time to die.
Slade!
This is for Sonny. Okay, did you overhear anything else?
No.
All right, look. Take this. You keep your eye on him. Cops will be here in a bit, so he shouldn't be a problem. But there's something he's got that I need.
Tex, about that thing that Klaus said about me.
Look, Sylvia, your business is your business.
No,
I understand, okay?
Please listen.
It's okay, really. The past is the past.
It's important to me. I want to tell you there's been some things in my life that I'm not very proud of. I used to work for an agency, an escort agency.
If I get out of this, I'm gonna bite your bloody leg off.
If he says one more thing, I want you to just shoot him.
I've known a lot of guys, but that was the past. It's behind me now.
And it's all right, okay? I mean, really, it's all right with me. It really doesn't matter, so relax, okay?
But I want it to matter to you. I've never had anything to do with Klaus or Law and Order or any of it.
What the hell is this? Card. Got it. Keep your eye on him.
I'm
okay?
a new woman now. I'm not the person I used to be.
Right.
Oh, come on. You did not fall for that old line, did you?
No, no way.
Yes, you did, didn't you? Oh. Okay, so how did Sylvia justify this whole escort thing with you?
Well, I guess she'd just gotten into modeling, was barely getting by. A friend told her of a great way to make money.
Yes.
I guess that's the only reason she did it.
Oh, likely story.
Yeah, well, I guess I was pretty gullible back then. Anyway, while Slade and Klaus were waiting for me to show up, Sylvia overheard them talking. Apparently, Klaus had operated on Carl Linsky. When he removed the tumor, he replaced it with an implant that eventually drove Linsky insane. Slade just tracked him to make sure he committed suicide.
I still think my theory's better.
Well, I told you yours was a better story. But regardless, Klaus was using Linsky as a guinea pig for the Law and Order Party for what they intended to use Overlord for.
Did Sylvia overhear anything else?
Yeah, she did, as a matter of fact. Now, Klaus still wasn't sure where the Overlord main computer was, but he suspected it was at J. St. Gideon's mansion.
And that's where you went next.
Right. When I told Sylvia, she said she knew how I could get in.
A shortcut to the bedroom, I'll bet.
Actually, that's what it was. Look, don't say it. I know I was a moron. But she did get me inside the mansion. So there I was, standing in Gideon's bedroom without any idea of what I was looking for.
Naughty pictures of Sylvia?
You really do have a one-track mind.